Another pen which I love to use, to have, and more importantly, in a way, to sell are Eversharp Skylines. In the past 40 plus years of selling pens to the public, not quite 40, well, nearly, yes, 40 years, I sell pens to students, to calligraphers, to artists, and this is, begun in the days before the interweb, where I would set up in schools, not quite the playgrounds. The drug dealers were too busy with their business there, but I would set up at Yale and Brown and Boston College and Harvard, and I'd have a table. There was a table over there that had sold posters, and a table over there that sold, I don't know, what would they sell? Bedding, I don't know, plants. Did I already say that? Posters and plants mainly. And then there was me with my little card table with pens, and I would sell them for $20, $30 a piece. And I loved selling Skylines because I knew that they were a quality pen, which involved an ease of making them a little more expensive. Some students said, "Gee, I really can't afford that." And I said, "Well, then buy this one." And I would, put down the gold fill one, and I would pick up this one, and I'd say, "This is, half the price of the other one." Or you want to, I sold the plain caps cheaper than the striped caps, and the striped caps a little bit more expensive than the metal caps. It was just a way of giving people an option easily. Or it was always yanking nibs out of one and putting in another one, and so it was really kind of fun. It was a very versatile pen to easily customize to a prospective buyer, mainly students who had to write notes all day long in class. And what a great pen to do that with. Or I often would sell them a 51 for that purpose, or maybe a Schaefer. But for the drawers of the world, the architects of the world, the people that love to sketch, a Skyline was great because of their great, strong, rubbery nibs. And so last week, I went out with the Boston group of the Urban Sketchers, and I selected a couple of Skyline pens to use. And I had my plans in my little head as to what I was going to draw. And of course, my plans changed, so I did something a little bit differently. But I'm changing the subject slightly as a sidebar. One of the reasons, so the reason I'm bringing this type of pen to your attention for my top pens was it really allowed me, I love selling pens to a person who's going to use them, and that this pen is a great pen that I can sell with confidence and know that they can be used really, really well. It's also kind of fun to have a Skyline to show a collector, to sort of show that they don't have everything yet. They have the solid gold one. That's not uncommon. Do they have the one with the chrome cap? That's a little rare. Do they have the one with the chrome nib to go along with the chrome cap? That has a silver-colored nib, gold nib that's plated with something for the person that demanded silver for their outfit. But what's really fun about the the Skyline is it came in a couple of different sizes. And I can never remember, whenever I see an executive, they came with 2 standard sizes. Let's just get those out of the way. 2 standard sizes are here. There's a short one and a long one. And the barrel is shorter, the section is shorter, the cap is shorter, and the other one, conversely, is longer. But then the Skyline people thought, well, these are selling like hotcakes. We need to make more money. So they made the executive. You have to use that tone of voice. The executive. So it's bigger all along. It's bigger, it's fatter and longer than the longest standard one. And it has a bigger section and a bigger nib. Everything about it is bigger because it's an executive. So, but when I see these things in the field, when I see this all by itself, the executive all by itself, I pick it up at a flea market or an antique shop and I think, is this an executive or not? It's kind of a lot of money if I'm buying just another standard one. And I'll take a chance. And lo and behold, it's a executive. There's something about it that I can't tell the difference by looking at it, but if I put it in my hand and put the cap on the back and it somehow seems like my hand shrunk, then I know that it's one of these. So sophisticated collectors have all 3 of these. And if they're really sophisticated, they'll have one of every color they made. That's the other thing that's about these pens that's sort of fun, is if you wanted to collect all possible variant of color and size and shape, or pattern rather, you're going to spend the rest of your life doing it. So it's and they're relatively common-ish, that you can go to a pen show and you can find 30 different ones and add to your collection. And so they're sort of fun for the collector. But this one is the rarest of them all. It's sort of fun to show a collector this one. Oh, what do you mean? I said, no, it's smaller. Yeah, I know, I got the smaller one. No, smaller. Smaller than the smaller one. And so you show them this, and it's like showing, someone that loves Shakespeare. Oh, did you know that he did limericks? Well, here's a set of dirty limericks, first folio. And oh my God, I didn't even know that he did such a thing. This pen is the same size as the short version, but it's thinner. And you can prove that by trying to put the cap on. Again, it's something you can't see. You have to sort of feel it. The difference is not that great. And this, I think I have 2.5 of them, maybe, or 3 in my collection. And I've had a good 1,000 or more of these things pass through my greedy little fingers. So anyway, what I did yesterday, so this is the one that you want to find. This will be the hardest one for you to get. The gold one, I can get those any day of the week. The little tiny one, whatever they called this is the rare one. So I went sketching on the weekend with the Boston group of the Urban Sketchers, and I just wanted to show you what I did with this pen, though I did also have, where is it? I had this one with me as well. And I ended up using the other one more, but I'm going to show you what I did with this one and why I like these pens so much. For drawing, they're really, really great because I feel I can push uphill while applying I can apply pressure while going up the wrong way with these pens. And when I'm in my beret-wearing, absinthe-drinking, artistic mood, I want to shove this thing around. I don't want to think about applying pressure only on the downstroke. I don't want to deal with that. And almost, the pens that have the really, really fine nibs, I can also sort of apply pressure in the wrong direction. And so when I'm looking at an artist, when they're showing me the work that they do, or I see how they draw, and they're testing the pen out to see how it works, I can look at some people, and some people render very carefully. They draw like this, and they cross-hatch until the cows come home. And then there's other people that draw the thunderstorm and explosion or whatever they're drawing, and they push the pen around. They're sort of so involved with trying to capture the excitement of the subject that they might break a pen. So I try to find a pen for them that has a rubbery nib, that has a rounded enough nib that it can push uphill the wrong way with pressure. And Skyline nibs are almost always really, really good for that purpose. And I think earlier walls might be good as well, but I think by the time the Skyline came out, people were signing carbon copies, and they had to apply pressure, and I think they created the nibs were a little bit, I don't want to say dumbed down for the cigar chomping banker, but they were smoother for use when applying more pressure. So with this pen and this pen in tow, this one's the one I was hoping to use the most, but it was a sort of a gray day, and sort of the really dark shadows I expected to see weren't really happening. So I ended up using this Skyline more than this one. But I can't show you 4 pens in this series. I can only show you 3. So I'm going to show you this one because of the small size of it. I also, it was fitted with a nib that was very, very flexible, but also relatively broad to begin with. So this is the one I was going to be doing the dark shadows with. So I'm turning the clock back and changing the weather with my app on my phone and redrawing one of the drawings I did on Sunday. And I'll probably ruin it because I'm not actually in front of this particular establishment, and one person at least watching this video will know what it is, and it's mine host, Appleboom, sorry. This is Just's store at 49 Bromfield Street, and that's up the block from the Bromfield Pen Shop, which he bought and rebranded. And this is up the street, and it was a Sunday and it was closed, so I couldn't really stop in and draw. But you see me there on my bicycle. Here's my head. Here's my bicycle wheels. And you see me in the reflection in the front window. And so the name was here of white lettering on the windows. And there was a dress designer with mannequins in the windows above. And so this is the pen that I brought to sketch with, not only to come up with beautiful drawings, and I'm sure that I can draw your store better than I did right here, but here's the side view of it. Look, here's the front door is here, or the street doors here, and then you see one of the bay windows with the displays of pens. And then up the street in the distance is one of the famous historic cemeteries. So again, the Skyline is just, I like them because of their nibs. I love the design of them as well. I like the Graf Zeppelin, shape as it, goes on its world tour, stopping on Bromfield Street before continuing north to Somerville. And they're really, really good. So I love them. And I like the fact that I can also collect them. I can come up with different colors and different sizes and different materials. So they're really kind of fun. But for me, in general, I buy pens for a couple of different reasons, and drawing is one of the two reasons. I do calligraphy and I draw. Sometimes I write. There's 3 reasons I collect pens. 4 reasons. I also buy and sell them to other people. So anyway, there's many reasons I collect pens. And but for drawing, 9 times out of 10, you're going to see a Wall Eversharp product of some sort in my hands when I'm sketching. And Waterman nibs, I love drawing with them as well, but I have to be a little tiny bit more careful generally with those. Use smoother paper. I can use rough paper with these pens. They just go right through. They're sort of like an icebreaker. The Skyline is like the Stockholm, and a Waterman pen is like the Andrea Doria. You might run into issues when you're using a Waterman pen when you're sketching on watercolor textured paper. With a Skyline, you can just go plowing right through. Damn the torpedoes. So I also, here's another one of 49 Bromfield Street. I went back with with a water brush to dissolve the ink, which was kind of fun. But I don't think even Used would recognize his store from this drawing. So anyway, Skylines, I have a love affair with them. They make me smile. Do they make you smile?